Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hope you all are well. We're just out in the courtyard. That's what it's called, isn't it? Courtyard?
Yeah, it's a courtyard.
The apartment building where we live. We've been here before. You can recognize this is that amazing church. We just tried to get inside there, but it's
we couldn't.
under construction at the moment. So they said it's been under construction for about a year internally. I think they already did a lot of stuff externally, but it's very majestic, majestic place.
Beautiful.
Especially we were just walking around. And, yeah, you see it's like really a house dedicated to God, you know. You can just feel like it's majesty, you know. Anyway, so here we are, right next to it in the shelter of the house of God.
Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 8.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
How's it?
Maybe you can show our friends at home what scared the life out of you and such.
It was this thing.
It just blew on her arm, and because of that, she thought.
Well, you have to be alert.
Tarantulas were crawling on her.
Be alert.
Be alert.
That's what I learned in the army. Alright, text 8. After this, King Paranjan, king of the Panchala country, in order to increase the descendants of his paternal family, married his sons with qualified wives and married his daughters with qualified husbands.
I mean, it's hard to find one qualified wife or husband. I can't imagine how he managed to get 1,100 qualified wives and 108, was it?
100, what?
110
yeah,
qualified husbands.
It's true. Some just take what we got, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, purport. According to the Vedic system, everyone should marry. Now, one has to accept a wife because a wife will produce children, and the children in their turn will offer foodstuffs and funeral ceremonies so that the forefathers, wherever they may live, will be made happy.
Huh.
The offering of oblations in the name of Lord Vishnu is called Pindudaka, and it is necessary that the descendants of a family offer Pinda to the forefathers.
What were we just talking about in the last
That's
reading?
It. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But, anyway. That's how it is. That's why people want male babies, so they can do the last rites and carry on the lineage and all that good stuff. So, that is interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, my fellow Brits, but like King Henry VIII, that's why he killed so many wives, because he wanted a boy, and he blamed, obviously it was the women's fault for that he didn't have. And then he did he did have one. I mean, he had lots of daughters, that's why he kept killing the women, but the wives, but he had one boy and he was really sickly and not much use, sort of thing. And then his daughter, Queen Elizabeth, went on to become extremely powerful queen. Queen Elizabeth I went on to become extremely powerful queen, and one of the longest reigning until Queen Victoria broke the record. And then after Queen Victoria was Queen Elizabeth II, which is the one that just passed away. So it's pretty, so first King Henry VIII's daughter reigned, the time that she was reigning was for a very long time, until, and it's just interesting. And for him it was like, this is no good, I need a man, to carry. And he had other daughters that also, because the monarchy wasn't just in England, and they reigned in different parts of the world, as it were, and they're very, very successful and very powerful, So it's interesting, just saying how, life turns
it's
out.
another important point that basically can of why you might want to have a a male to rule over and, take care of the kingdom. But in this instance, we see that the ladies were actually, more potent than the men, which is, I think, for sure the case in many places and many times, old and new. Okay, next paragraph. Not only was Puranjan, the king of Panchala, satisfied with his own sex life, but he arranged for the sex life of his 1,100 sons and his 110 daughters. In this way, one can elevate an aristocratic family to the platform of a dynasty. It is significant in this verse that Puranjan got both sons and daughters married. It is the duty of a father and mother to arrange for the marriage of their sons and daughters. That is the obligation of the Vedic society. Sons and daughters should not be allowed freedom to intermingle with the opposite sex unless they are married. This Vedic social organization is very good in that it stops the promulgation of illicit sex life for Varna Sankara, which appears under different names in this present day. Unfortunately, in this age, although the father and mother are anxious to get their children married, the children refuse to get married by the arrangement of the parents. Consequently, the number of Varna Sankara has increased throughout the world under different names. Be interesting, maybe Prabhupada will open up and explain what he keeps meaning by those different names. So, I think that it's interesting. In the first paragraph I wanted to say, but I forgot, how Srila Prabhupada, in these purports, I was just hearing in the Lilamrita how Prabhupada was describing that the translations of the Bhagavatam, they're not so difficult, he said, but writing the purports and writing them in such a way that they're relevant to the current day and accessible to the current people, and especially the people of your country, that is what takes the maximum amount of time. So having just heard that recently and then reading the first paragraph where Prabhupada goes on to explain how everyone should marry, one has to accept a wife, and then he talks about the Pinda kind of process, which would be completely foreign to the people of America and to the world, but yet Prabhupada is unhesitatingly offering that cultural understanding. In one sense, one might say, because actually I've always understood amongst Gaudiyas, even though Lord Chaitanya did this, that it's not necessarily one of our practices or something that we need to do. And you might think, well, Prabhupada could have left that out because it's just a Hindu thing or Hindu-Bindu thing. And it's not necessarily something that is required, but Prabhupada mentions it in here as a cultural aspect of what needs to be done, or why people want, maybe he's also just trying to prove the point of why people want boys. But then in the next thing, I was thinking, God, Srila Prabhupada is just like relentless, because he basically, he says first he's, satisfied with his own sex life, then he's dealing with the sex life of his children, and again he mentions that it is the duty of parents to get their children married. So again he's giving some cultural aspect and teaching, and then he just dives right into the principle of non-association before marriage between members of the opposite sex. And I just think that this is very, Prabhupada is so courageous. I was just, again in Lilamrita, I was hearing how Prabhupada, he got to have an audience with Indira Gandhi when she was Prime Minister. And Prabhupada scribbled down on a piece of paper before he went in the kind of 5 things that he wanted to say. The first one was, you should give my American disciples permanent kind of visas because they're doing such good work here, and we're spreading the teachings of India's culture all over the world. But then he put all like slaughterhouses should be closed. All no liquor should be served and openly in any shops. He said prostitution should be outlawed. He said, what else? Oh, he said all the MPs and prominent persons in the government should have to, something like this, mandatorily attend kirtan for X amount of hours every week. And I was thinking, Prabhupada was so bold. And one might even say, that was silly things, but no, Prabhupada believed so firmly in them. He had such deep faith that this is the answer, this is the solution, this is what needs to be taught. And here we have it. He just puts it straight in the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and is having people hand this out. This is what he's giving as his teachings. And so it's quite intense, because Prabhupada is far away from any kind of bridge preaching, you know. And he's just straight down, straight up. This is what Krishna consciousness is. And because of that, somehow he attracted massive amounts of people from all different races, with to speak of just kind of, you could say, Westerners. I mean, it attracted, you know, maximum numbers of Westerners. Anyway, it's just really interesting. Prabhupada is just he's not straying away, and he's not frightened of presenting it, even though he said that these purports were very difficult to write, because he was trying to make something presentable to the people of the modern day. But that was not presentable, to say you got to get married. That was the age of free love and free sex, and he's writing these books for the next 10,000 years, and Kali Yuga means perpetual degradation. So anyway, it's really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like he's doing it because he knows things are going to become degraded, so someone needs to say it how it should be, if that makes any sense, because it's going to get lost. And we can see in our own lifetime of Krishna consciousness that it is lost, sadly, either from people within who've decided to deviate and present other things, or people from outside who are piggybanking on the back of Swami Prabhupada, and they be, you know, this sannyasi and that one, and I'm giving this pure thing and I'm giving that. And so Prabhupada's books are just like giving it that pure message in a nutshell, because that's like the compass, you know, that it stays steady, and everything else can whatever. But that's it's interesting. North. Right.
Into the east. Next paragraph is our next purport is quite long, so maybe we just finish here. Keep it sweet, short.
Okay.
Thank you all very much for tuning in. So I believe, as you're watching this, tomorrow is the eve of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. So we hope that you'll be celebrating and offering some homage to Srila Prabhupada for everything that he's done. Krishna willing, we will be at Matchless Gifts, the place where it all began, celebrating Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day during the day, and then Bhakti Center in the evening.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.